Okay, YouTube reading. So I wasn't going to do one today. I did TikTok before, so if you want to go check that out, you can, if this doesn't resonate. But then I was feeling like this pull to do the masculine side. So the TikTok reading I posted earlier was the feminine and their rage. Their valid rage, but how to move through it. But this feels more like masculine and what's on your mind. What are you thinking about at the moment? What's your focus and what are you wanting? So we'll get into it. What is actually on your mind at the moment? What's your focus? What are you thinking? And this will help, because if this is how you're thinking and feeling right now, then you'll know because it will resonate. Seek professional advice. So you actually might be umming and ahhing on whether to go get therapy. Maybe that's something that's not spoken about in your family, or it's not something you're used to being surrounded by, but I'm hearing it. You want to be the cycle breaker in your family. So that would require you to do things, be the first person in your family to do things. Does that make sense? So if no one in your family believes in therapy or has ever been to therapy, and you want to be the cycle breaker, then I think your fear about seeking professional advice, like going to therapy, might seem daunting. But even the fact that you're mulling over whether to do it or not is excellent, because I think you're recognizing that it's something that you probably need to help you work through your shadow. Confirmation, did you hear that horn? So this is your sign to do it. Bite the bullet. You can do telehealth phone calls if you don't want to actually physically go somewhere. So you can do over the phone consultations. There's so many avenues to look into now for counselling or therapy, even if you don't have private health insurance. So those are some things to look into. But if this is on your mind, that's really good. I am absolutely in love with you. So the person on your mind, your feminine, because I'm speaking to the masculine, you absolutely love your feminine. And if that is why you're seeing through the BS now that you've been surrounding yourself with, and again, if opinions around you are like, don't go to therapy, your inner strength and your desire to be the curse breaker, the cycle breaker in your family, I think you're going to forge ahead with this, and that's excellent. It's going to be like, I don't care what they think now, I absolutely am in love with this person, and no matter how big the hole is I've dug myself, I'm going to actively take steps to get professional help so that I can be the kind of partner that they deserve before I come back towards them. And that's really good energy to be in. This is nice. But also not just to be with the person you love, but also to heal things for you. So you're happier, you're not burdened, you don't, all that, this pent up anger you have can be cleared. And therapy is not a one and done. It's something you continuously go to. The first session, the first couple of sessions, you might feel a bit awkward because you're not used to opening up to a stranger, but you will get, just go in with the mindset that you're going to feel uncomfortable for the first few sessions, and then you get into it. Be open-minded. I just want space. So right now, you're very aware, your feminine is on your mind, you do absolutely love them, and that's beautiful. But you need space to go through this. And I think you're aware of that. And 6/6, in numerology, if you're seeing 666 a lot, that's your angels trying to tell you to refocus. So if you've been umming and ahhing about therapy for a long time, this is saying focus, go to therapy. Yes, this is your sign to go. You need to bring your focus back to this and go through with it. Follow through with it, especially if something that you've struggled with is following through on plans. Ring somewhere, set an appointment and see it through, and keep seeing it through, because not only are you doing it because you love this person, but because you need to prove to yourself that you can set a goal and stick to it and achieve it. All right, seek professional advice. Or 6 could be a date. 7, let me hold you. So I think for this to confirm seek professional advice, you have very heavily had your feminine on your mind and how much you love them. But to say let me hold you to confirm seek professional advice, again, that just confirms for me that you know that work has to be done, your shadow, your things that need repairing in you, to get close to them again. Because just like you're going to want to see change in them, they are definitely going to want to see a change in you. So for them to let you hold them again, you know that this needs to be done. And 6, 7, consecutive steps. You're taking steps. That's good. This is nice. So while the feminine's feeling so much rage over how you treated them and let maybe your family and friends treat them, you're aware of the issues and you're willing to do the work on it. So that's really good. I am terrified, number 9. So you're coming to the end, you're coming to the end of a cycle, you're closing a chapter, that's good. And you're going to be terrified that you're absolutely in love with them. For that to confirm you're absolutely in love with them, you are terrified because you know what you've done to hurt them. And the mountain that you will have to climb, the challenges you will have to face to prove to them that you have changed and that things will be different this time. It's not, same with the therapy not being one and done sessions. You know that it's going to take time to prove to them, and that terrifies you because you don't know what the outcome's going to be. And also you could be terrified of therapy, but don't be. They're there to help you, truly. And honestly, I'm hearing this, so I'm going to say it. Do not tell your family and friends you're going to therapy. Keep that to yourself. I'm hearing that so strongly. It's like it's being screamed at me. Do not tell your family and friends that you're going to therapy. Keep that to yourself. Have that as something you're doing for you. It's no one else's business. That is very important here. I just want space. Definitely. So for that to confirm, I just want space. This is, again, confirming that space is needed for you to do this work, for you to go to this therapy. So this message is a sign that, yes, those thoughts you've been mulling over about therapy, yes, please, your angels are saying do it, and keep it to yourself. Keep that as your own little private thing, okay? Because you need time to let this therapy work without outside opinions skewing your vision again, because that is what has caused this separation to begin with. Will you choose me? So again, that's just confirming how you're afraid that even though you know there's work to be done and you're willing to do it, you don't know if they will choose you at the end of the day. But you also have to look at it like, I am doing this therapy for me too, because I can see happiness with my person, and to be happy with them, there's work that I have to do on myself. But also, in general, you will feel so much better after some time of going consistently to therapy, starting to see the changes in you and starting to see the world in a whole new perspective, because you're not getting advice from the people you surround yourself. You're getting advice from an objective point of view, someone that is really there just to help you. You're paying them to help you. And I'm hearing that as well. They might say, why would you pay money to someone when you can talk to us? Again, keep this to yourself. That's all I'm saying. No matter how dark it gets, the sun is going to rise again. That was the quote that was playing when I started to record. So even with therapy, for example, there's things that are going to come up. You're going to leave sessions feeling really yucky because you've stirred up all this stuff. You've got a whole lifetime of things and memories to bring up and digest and get advice for. So that is why I'm saying you need to give it a chance to really take an effect on your life. And that is why I cannot stress enough, do not tell people around you that this is what you're doing. You really need to let this take effect. And I think, I don't know, I get this feeling you already know that. You know that this is something you need to keep private because you already know that the people you surround yourself, even though they're family and friends and they do love you, it's that you've been affected too long by what they have to say and what they tell you should do. So that's why this needs to be something you do for yourself and it's none of their business. All right, so let's see what lies beneath. What are some things that you should be focusing on as far as your shadow goes and this therapy? I'm actually really happy about this message because for whoever the divine masculines are that I'm speaking to, the fact that you're seeing this now and you're opening your mind up now to getting this help, you've come a long way. I think you were very closed off to it before because of the influences around you. And you might have even had that opinion of, why would I pay money to someone to get therapy when I can talk to family and friends? That could have been your opinion. Pregnancy test, unsure results, a pregnancy scare, positive or negative. So I'm seeing that as a couple of things. One, you could have shared a pregnancy with your person and that's something, and it was either terminated or miscarried, and that's something upsetting that's something you should talk about in therapy to help you heal that part of your life. But I'm also hearing you are worried that children is something you're never going to have in this lifetime, even though you really want to be a parent. You're worried about the time it's going to take to come back to your person, rebuild the relationship, and will you run out of time to actually have a family? I think that's a concern. So again, these are things you can bring up to the therapist. Falling apart, falling into pieces. So I think just from the separation, all the things that your team, your divine team, your higher self have been throwing at you, the world around you has just been so chaotic and you felt like you're falling apart, on top of the fact that your heart's broken. But these were things to guide you towards this decision you're making now even. It was almost like they kept putting you through crap and you just kept thinking you're all alone in this world and why do I keep getting tested? But it was all to be like, you need to face these issues. We keep testing you because you need to get therapy, you need to get the help. And it's taken you this long to kind of surrender to that and go, okay, I'm going to go get help. Falling apart. So this is what lies beneath, like what's inside you. Fulfilling a fantasy. So again, your fantasy of having a family with your person, these are things that you have buried deep because you've been trying to get over them for however long you've been in separation for, and because you dug a hole for yourself in the way you spoke about your person to family and friends and how you let them speak about them too. So for you, it's like, it's this deep seated fantasy that you weren't allowing yourself. It's almost like every time it would come up, you would distract yourself because you're like, no, I can't be with them. We're too toxic together, and all the reasons of why you shouldn't be together and all the outside opinions that you were too influenced by made you stuff it back down. But that's something that is very much there. So these, again, you can talk to a therapist about anything, mundane annoyances during your day to deep-seated trauma from your childhood. You can bring up anything and they will help give you a new perspective, but also ways to cope. and ways to change patterns that you've created in your life. Pregnancy test. Investigating. So you might be, I'm seeing this as you getting more information, maybe about therapy, maybe you're looking for alternative therapies, but also I think you're keeping an eye on your feminine. I think you're investigating where they're at in life, how they might feel. But I want to say this, as much as you investigate, or if you're going around asking people about your feminine, whatever information you get, unless that person is the feminine's best friend, you're not going to get any kind of real truth. And your feminine's certainly not going to be posting anything about even a new relationship, or that they've got other suitors, or, I mean, they might, but true feminines don't do, they're more about putting things out into the universe that's to help the collective. So they're not going to be like, I'm dating this person and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's just my experience. What I've seen of feminines posting, that's just not what they do. So the answers you're trying to investigate for, you're not going to get them. The only way you're going to find out is if you speak to your feminine directly. But as well, for that to come under pregnancy test, you might have had suspicions over a pregnancy that you had with your feminine. Falling apart. Compassion is a big one here. I think you lacked a lot of compassion and understanding towards them and how they were feeling and what they had to go through. You were so self-focused. So that's another thing that you need to look into. 111. Toxic. So the things that when you were falling apart, you lent into a lot of toxic behaviors and toxic people and toxic thought patterns, telling yourself untrue stories about your feminine to yourself, to other people, letting other people talk about her, okay, so if you're a male, but doesn't have to be, about them. And I'm hearing family just saying these little things all the time to keep you away from going back to them too. And I'm also hearing you told your feminine that you didn't tell anyone anything, or that you weren't talking about them behind your back, but you were. And you would accuse your feminine of doing that, but they were the ones keeping the secrets from family and friends because they didn't want people to know how you were treating them, because they felt shame for it too, that they were allowing it. Whereas you were the one that was going and saying things and twisting truths and being deceitful behind their back, and you're aware of that now. You know the toxic behavior, you know the sabotage, self-sabotage, you know what you created. And that's why you're kind of falling apart, in the sense where you know you need this help. You know you need to go get therapy to work on these things, because you do not want to do that to your feminine again. But also you just want to be happy. You want to work on these things so that you can clear it to have a happy life. It's not just for them, it's for you. And I think you've reached a point where you're like, I actually am doing this for me. That's why you got I Need Space, because you're like, this therapy is for me to be better, be a better person, grow up. Fulfilling a fantasy. Putting on a show. So that confirms exactly what I was saying. You were putting on a show to everyone that you were completely fine, you weren't affected by it. And I'm going to say the people closest to you probably knew you were heavily affected by it, but they didn't bring it up with you because they didn't want you to explode, or it was almost like they thought it was better to not mention it because you were putting on such a good show that you were doing okay. And again, with the toxic behavior, probably acted like a real show off, I'm hearing, to this big bravado that you're like so fine, but you weren't. Recording, announcing, expressing, revealing the truth. So there might have been some truths that were revealed to you about people close to you, or you could have been caught red-handed in some fibs. So you probably got caught red-handed in some fibs and were quite embarrassed by it. And it was like it had to happen. You had to get caught red-handed and be caught in a lie or lies or sneaky behaviour because you needed to wake up to yourself. Again, this is like you feeling all alone because you're just getting tested, but the universe was trying to shove this down your throat because it was like, you're not learning. We are going to keep doing this until you learn and you go and get help and stop running away. So your knee-jerk reaction to run away from problems is something you definitely should bring up in these sessions, because that's another thing that causes this behavior, this sneaky behavior, this toxic behavior. Okay. So I just want to get what has been happening for you quickly, especially with that being like that feeling of being caught red-handed. So you can be your authentic self with your feminine, you know this. Showing true self courageously, but by doing the work on yourself and getting the therapy, you will really uncover your true authentic self that you've been wearing a mask over for however long, so that when you show up for your feminine, you can express yourself authentically. And trust me, the feminines are very intuitive. They will be able to feel sincerity with wearing a mask. So if you're going to bother to go in, you got to go in correctly and with your authentic self, your true expression. Whether you're worried about rejection or not, that's the courage it takes. Overthinking. You're overthinking the situation. I'm not surprised that has come out at all. Thoughts and emotions are tangled up, leading to overthinking. So again, I think you're overthinking if your feminine's going to take you back, and overthinking past memories. You're replaying all the stuff you put them through, but as well, you're overthinking the taking that step to go to therapy. And I'm here to tell you again, this is your sign. Yes, book therapy, keep it to yourself. Let it work first. Let the changes happen. One more. Drifting apart, the connection between you and someone is fading. I think this is your worry. This is what you're overthinking about. You're worried that by the time you have, and let me say this, you don't have to go to therapy for years before you go towards your feminine. I just think that you probably need to give it a chance first, because again, when you guys come back into union, there's still growth to be had together. You might even do couples therapy and things like that. It's perfectly healthy. You're worried that the love on their side isn't there for you anymore, that it's faded. And also worried that what if you do come in and you realize the connection's just not there anymore. Yeah, public exposure. So you have been caught red-handed. You did go through something where you were exposed. Private matters could be exposed. So you have been embarrassed. I think you feel shame and embarrassment over your toxic behavior, the way you've behaved towards your feminine. But I think in the way the things you've done since then since the separation, and you should. There's nothing wrong with embarrassment and feeling shame. That is reflecting to you where the shadow you need to work on. And that's okay. We all make mistakes. None of us is perfect. None of us is flawless. And even your feminine knows that. She's not perfect. She's not flawless. She knows that people make mistakes. She's made mistakes. You've made mistakes. They will be forgiving if you show up authentically. All right, so I want to see how you view your feminine and the connection. Outside of worrying that it's faded, how does the masculine see the feminine, please? Dark night of the soul. So you might think they went through a dark night of the soul after what happened with you, which you're not wrong. They would have been very painful ending. They questioned everything, their gifts. Divine masculine. So maybe you either think, because this is how you see them, so you might dreams. So you might think that they're in their divine masculine right now, especially if you are watching them and you're seeing them post a lot and they're really on their grind and they're trying to focus on their purpose and make a life for themselves with that purpose. You're seeing them in that go-getter energy, that striving for success in their given field. And dreams, I think you're both vividly dreaming right now. You're connected through dreams. Dark night of the soul. But as well, I think you're seeing them as maybe viewing you as their divine masculine. But 3D to confirm dark night of the soul, if you think your feminine went through a dark night of the soul, if this is how you're seeing them, then I think you're very tapped in. You're very intuitive yourself, and you're aware that even though spiritually they might have seen a future with you, they've seen the end stop, they've seen the family with you, and because they had those visions, when it all crumbled, it made them question their whole reality. So they were torn between what they could see in the 5D with what the reality was, which is you're not in their life and you treated them horribly. So that really would have caused not just an ego death, but confusion and instability in their abilities and their intuition. Divine masculine. Love bombing. So you believe that they thought that you believe that your feminine thinks you're a narcissist, that you love bombed them, that you made promises and revoked them, that they felt used by you, that you bamboozled them with words but followed up with no action. And so they question whether you're their divine masculine because of that. And I don't think you made promises thinking you were going to break them, but you offered what you couldn't offer at that time, ghosted. So especially if there's not been much communication in this separation, there's not been any in and out and anything like that, it's been very cut off. You're seeing each other in dreams, but they feel ghosted by you. You, I think, feel ghosted by them. You might have tried to reach out a couple of different times and they didn't reply. But you have to look at what were you sending, what were you doing? Because if it was something very tiny that would have appeared like a breadcrumb, after everything that's happened, they probably, if they did ghost you, saw the message and didn't react in any way, they probably just thought that's not good enough. And rightly so, I mean, and I think you would know that. You can't go from treating them the way you treated them to then sending them something like, hey, like they're not gonna appreciate that. Merkaba, so you see this connection as spiritually, you're tied to each other energetically, you're literally bound to each other. Hang on, one more for that. How does the masculine see their feminine, please? Time and space, time and space was needed. But religion, religious factors, cultural factors, upbringing, different perspectives got in the way of this. Family, your family got in the way. Cosmic healing was needed. I don't even fully think you're completely aware of how much you've let your family interfere here. I think this is something you need to wake up to still. But it's on your mind. I think you do think about how family impacts this connection, but I also think you see your feminine as family. I think you want to have a family with them. I think you see them as the mother, father of your children. But you need to go through healing first. right, Be Kind by Halsey. Look up those lyrics. They're for you. Okay. What is blocking you right now? And then I'm going to get how your feminine feels towards you so you know. So that doubt in your mind about whether the connection has faded or not, we'll get into it. What is blocking this masculine right now? No good ones. There is someone out there for you. Don't let this false belief make you miss out. I'm seeing that as your self-worth issues. Your block right now is thinking that you're not good enough, and you are. You have so much potential. It's about pushing through to try and create a better life for yourself. You are good enough, and you're good enough for your feminine if you do the work and show up with your authentic self. Retreating. So I need space, remember? Your fear of being hurt has made you retreat. It's time to get out and try again. So you going to therapy is you getting out and trying again. You can be in solitude and I'm seeing it as you staying away from people that are bad for you, the toxic environment, the toxic points of view, but getting out and seeing a therapist. So isolating yourself isn't entirely bad, but you need to get out there and do this. It's going to be so good for you. Being cold. So I'm seeing you were quite cold. When you cut off your feminine, you just completely cut them off cold and were potentially nasty. You seem unapproachable because you were aloof. Try being more friendly. So I think as well, that's a block as far as you have put up this wall for however long this separation has been. So it's about trying to break that wall down again to let them in. And soulmate only. You have many soulmates who would be great for you. There's not just one. So I think another block is that you wonder if you still question this journey and whether you could just meet someone else. And that's not the best energy because this is your person. Or it could be the block is that you're worried that they've met a soulmate. Untrue stories. Remember what I said in the beginning about telling yourself untrue things or asking people about your feminine to try and investigate and find more information, but you're not going to get any kind of truth from anyone that you know about your feminine. The only real truth you're going to get is from her. Okay, I just want to get spirit animals first, how you see them. And the energy, so the energy, what is the energy of the masculine right now? And then I'll get your feminine. What is the energy of the masculine right now, please? That's too many. What is the energy of the masculine, please? There we go. Oyster, the pearl within, your hard outer shell. That's beautiful. So your hard outer shell is the wall that needs to be broken down. Got this therapy as well as, I don't know if you're doing exercise, working on yourself in other aspects as well, like reading more, learning more about even the twin flame journey, divines, soulmates, all that stuff. You're enlightening yourself more, maybe about any kind of spirituality, other healing techniques. Whatever it is, you're doing these things that are going to help you bring that wall down and work on the things that you need to work on to bring the pearl out of the shell, coming out of the shell. So your energy right now is you're clammed up, but by doing this therapy and working and doing whatever else you need to do to clear your mind, you're creating space for the oyster to open up and reveal the pearl within you, and that's really nice. That's good energy. It's just working on that hard exterior. I think you've always probably struggled to. It's not that you would have never complimented your feminine or anything like that, but when it came to real depth of emotion and scars that inside you, you really struggled to open up. It's like you've got all this emotion for them, but then you don't know how to express it, so you just retreat or go with, like, keep it all in. So they're in the snake energy. So you're seeing them as having really done a lot of work on their spirituality, the way they're presenting themselves to the world, how they might be have become a healer in some way, where you're working through the chakras or sound healing, or they might do tarot, who knows. But from your perspective of what you can see, they have their snake energy has really transformed them. They've gone through a metamorphosis. They've shed their old skin and they're brand new. And you're just like, and that's nice. Okay. So, what's some advice from your angels for you? Union and karmic ties. So union, number 2. I feel our energy merging together as if it has a life of its own. We are becoming one again. So I think that's because you're taking steps towards healing, you're getting closer to union with your person. But karmic ties, number 11. I'm assessing past life wisdom. It's helping me understand things with a new perspective. So that might even be part of the knowledge that you're learning about, is past lives, reincarnation, that kind of thing. Conspiracy theories even. Oh, I said I was going to get how your feminine sees you. I'll do that next. Number 3, romantic messages. I feel the sexual energy between us, yet it's beyond physical attraction. It needs to be elevated to the expression of deep unconditional love. So I think the unconditional love was always there, but again, you just had bad toxic habits that you couldn't get out of your own way. So I think as well, you might have thought that it's just lust. That's why you were stuck not being able to get your feminine off your mind, but you've realized now that it's a whole nother thing. It's more than just attraction, it's a deep spiritual bond. And that was number 3, if I didn't say that. Union confirmed by union. I think union's close. Number 3. 3-3, so you could be seeing 3-3-3. That's also about following your creative passions. So that could be something else that you are focusing on. I did bring up exercising, so maybe that's something that you use to get your creative juices flowing. But the same divine energy flows in each of us. This energy is the catalyst to our reunion. We just need to allow this energy to work its magic. And I'm looking at this as that's 11, but 1, 2, 3. So again, before in that other deck where it's 6, 7, I feel like you're taking steps. You're actually moving closer to creating this reunion with your feminine. Karmic ties. And all this red, I'm thinking of root chakra. So all that stuff from childhood would be from your root. Karmic ties, to confirm karmic ties. Number 5, I can't fully be there for you as long as this other person is in my life. I know it's hard for you, but I have to go through this experience in order to heal it. So these ties to family and friends that have kept you trapped and bound, life after life, this is the life to break it. So the 2nd of March or the 3rd of February, the 11th of May or the 5th of November. Whoa, this has never happened to me. Every confirmation card is the same. Romantic messages confirmed by romantic messages. Union, karmic ties, romantic messages. Union can happen once you clear these karmic ties and karmic patterns. I daydream about you. Sometimes it's sexual, other times I visualize our future together. 3rd of May or the in case that cut off, 3rd of March or the 5th, no, or maybe 3rd of March could be significant, but the 3rd of May or the 5th of March. But that's another sexual card. This one was, I feel the sexual energy between us, yet it's beyond physical attraction. It needs to be elevated to the expression of deep unconditional love, confirmed by I daydream about you. Sometimes it's sexual, other times I visualize our future together. So union to confirm union, karmic to confirm karmic, romantic messages to confirm romantic messages, 5-5 as well. That's good. If you're seeing 5-5 as well, you're going through a transformation. You're going through a metamorphosis now, especially if you're willing to go to therapy. Again, this is your, so 3-3 and 5-5. But you have a lot of passion for your person. When I look at these romantic messages, the attraction is very much alive and well. You feel very drawn to them sexually, but you know that it runs deeper than that. It is something indescribable, something unmatched, something that cannot be replaced. 5 on the bottom, 5-5-5. You're going through a change and you can feel it. I think if you're watching this, this is your sign. If you've been thinking of going to therapy, do it, because this is going to create such a change that it's going to completely shift your life. My ego is fragile to criticism and rejection. So you might have not been very good at handling any time your feminine tried to bring up issues that they had. You always saw it as an attack, or you always thought they were trying to manipulate you. But again, that's something you need to reflect on. Are you manipulative? Do you play mind games? Because that's something you need to look at. I've created walls to protect myself, the oyster. You've created this hard shell, and anytime someone tried to penetrate it, you'd clam up and you would get defensive. That is something you definitely need to work on in therapy, but you shouldn't be opening up to the people that you've been opening up to. Your feminine will protect you, your heart, just as much as you need to protect hers. So when it comes to your relationship, you need to keep it sacred. Okay, so let's see, where did I put it here? Let's see how they view you. How does the feminine view this masculine, please? Fear. So they feel like you are afraid of commitment, afraid of the depth of this connection, and fear caused you to run. But they know that the chemistry you two share, again, like that red deck, undeniable, unmatched. And a lot of times feminists stay celibate, not just because they're saving themselves for the chance that you come back, but because they see their body as a temple and they don't want to just let anyone in. Energy exchange is a real thing. Time and space, so you both got time and space. You both know that time was needed so that you could develop properly individually. So that's good. Expecting. So that's another card of pregnancy. You got it too. So I think you both sharing the same fear about a past pregnancy, but as well worrying about the time that's passing. TikTok, I just heard. The time it's taking to come back together, will you miss the chance to have a family together? I think that's a big fear here for both of you. I think you want to build a little family, a little empire, but the fear of how long this is taking, you're worried that time is ticking, that you're going to run out to have, they're worried about that same thing. Hot and cold. So I think they view you as someone who is very intense and passionate towards them, but you would revoke it just as quickly. You'd be so like loving and flattering and full on with them, and then when you weren't seemingly getting your way, or you didn't know how to express the things that you needed to express to them, if you had grievances that you needed to express, you were bottling them up and then you would go cold, you'd shut down, and they felt that. And then if they tried to address it with you, you'd clam up. Time and space. You let things build up and build up. And then it would cause you to go from hot to cold. Time and space. Runner. So yeah, again, they see you as the runner. You ran from this connection, but time and space was needed because they're seeing you as, or they've got the hope that in this time and space away from you that you've been working on those running tendencies. And I think you are, especially if you're going to do this therapy. I think that's a big thing that is going to be worked on in these sessions, because they see the potential of you. If you go through this transformation, which I believe you are, 555, you are going to open up that oyster shell to reveal your pearl to your feminine, not to everyone. Not meaning it'll change you in the way that it will like change the way you look at life and the way you act and stuff. Not fully, it's not going to like completely change you, because obviously you guys fell in love with the person you are, but that's the thing. They fell in love with the authentic you, and then the authentic you went away and caused the separation. So it's finding that pearl again and showing that to them and maintaining it this time. All right, so let's get clarifying life situations, and then I'll get messages for you from your feminine, what they would want to say to you. All right, let's clarify the current energy. Choose wisely. Perfect. Decisions shape your path. Make the right decision. Go to therapy. Please, like, it's not gonna be bad for you, I promise. Decisions shape your path amid challenges. So you are seeing the challenges now and you want to work on them. Stay open to learning as answers reveal your destined journey. So again, as well, when you work on these things, it'll clear the mud that's all in you to then clear the path for your true destiny in this lifetime. Choose wisely. That's good. I'll just get 3 from this one. Shield of resilience. Employ your shield of resilience, guarding against external pressures while nurturing your internal strength in love and career. So I'm seeing this as your field of tolerance for your feminine as well as in life. Maybe if you've struggled in job situations as well as in romantic partnerships, your tolerance needs to be higher for instance, constructive criticism. You need to be able to balance hearing these things, also expressing your needs and balancing that out, because you need to be stable. You need to be emotionally and physically stable to be able to give equally in the relationship. Give as much as you take. Cutting edge. Slice through the obstacles and carve a path towards your dreams. Perfect. Metamorphosis mirage. You're going through a transformation. This is beautiful. So you are cutting through the bullshit. You're going to go to therapy. It's going to do wonders for you. Remember that when you're feeling crap in therapy, or if you feel like it was a crappy session, remember every session is helping you. It's moving towards a better version of you, so that the things that have been holding you back and creating the same patterns over and over and over again that you just weren't seeing, that you will change that, and you, in the process, change your whole life. Embrace the tender transition between past forms and future possibilities as illuminated by the transformative butterfly. And also seeing that mountain as, you know, that to be with your feminine, you need to climb that mountain and face the challenges with her head on, because you know going in that she's going to have doubts and fears about your return because of the past. So knowing that you're being willing to climb that mountain to prove yourself. All right, where did that come from? Over here. So let's get messages from them to you. What would the feminine want to say to the masculine, please? Okay, so this first one says, I'm only staying here for my kids, nothing else. I'm making my way out. So your feminine might already be a parent, and in their situation, they have to have stability and consistency as far as their home for their children or child. So I think there has to be understanding that her life has to create safety and stability for them. So you can't, I'm hearing, don't come in and try to rip them out of their situation, because if you want to be the alpha, if that's what you want to call it, if you want to be the protector and the leader, if you expect them to see you as a leader and protecting your flock, then you need to come to them, because they have to feel safe with you. So you need to create that safe environment, protect them, and make sure that they're feeling stable in their environment and not stirring it up. Please unblock me. Yeah, that's me calling you from an unknown number. So you might be getting weird numbers trying to call you, like no caller ID and stuff, but you, I think it's more energetically, because if you're seeing your feminines really sitting in their power, I would be surprised if they're trying to reach you, and especially from an unknown number, because that's very sneaky. And the feminines, that would be something that they might do in the early days of separation, but not now. I think maybe energetically they feel blocked from you. What does the feminine want to say to the masculine? And that's the same thing. If you're calling from unknown numbers or you're spying on fake accounts and stuff, that's cowardly. You need to remove that energy, because a masculine, if he's a true, wants to protect his pack and be the alpha, he would not be doing sneaky things like that. Okay, I can't stop thinking about you. I'm seeing the synchronicities. It's driving me insane. So they're seeing signs of you everywhere, songs that you guys have together, or synchronized numbers, maybe your name, maybe your birthday, maybe your card, like just things that are reminding them of you. That's happening a lot for them right now, so they might be picking up on your energy. You are so smart, you have me figured out too. I'm only staying here for my kids. So I think, at least for the foreseeable future, especially if having a family together is something you both want, stability for the kids is important here. And I think they think that you know that. I think they know that you, to come back, would have to show them that you're willing to make it work, fit yourself into their life and create stability. But I think as well that when it says you're so smart, you have me figured out, I think you are able to read them very well. You know what they're like, and sometimes even know what they're thinking, and it shocks them. Do you still think about me? Do you still want me? Do you still love me? I need to know if I should move on. I'm hurting. And that's under please unblock me. So again, I think energetically they're feeling cut off from you at the moment, even though they're seeing signs of you everywhere. And it makes them think about how, sometimes I think they still doubt the vision that they have of you two being together in the end, and they wonder if they're crazy and that the signs they're seeing are real signs, because they have no idea, especially if it's been a very cold, cut-off situation where there's not really been much communication. They wonder if you still care, or if you even still think about them like how they think about you all the time. Truth is, I'm in love with you. So there you go. If you had any doubts about the connection being faded, you're always on their mind, and they love you. So that's really good. If you needed reassurance about where they stand when it comes to you, that's clear as day. All right, let's just see what's next for this connection. Mirror. So you're mirroring each other at the moment. That's probably why they're seeing signs of you as well. Self-image, relationships reflect our wounds. So the wounds that have been reflected when you're in your connection that made it break down in the first place, you're both aware of them. They've been doing their work and you are now doing your work. Introspection, going within, removing the people and the toxic environment. What's next for this connection, please? Healthy choices, beautiful, going to therapy. You're both making healthy choices. In this mirroring, you're very close to union. You're very close to coming towards your feminine and making an offer. But at the moment, you know that you have to make these healthy decisions for yourself. Making healthy choices in love and in life, self-love, self-care, being happier. And also that could be 555 on the timer sign. So you could be feeling like part of when you come in to offer something to your feminine, you will say, I understand why you would have doubts and fears about me trying to come back in. So I'm willing to go to therapy with you to prove, as part of a way to prove to you that I'm open to working on this with you, because that's what I want forever with you. And if that's what you need to feel secure, then that's what I'm willing to do. Love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. You're very attracted to them, but love is, for this to be the future of this connection, this is beautiful because the wounds that were mirrored to one another have pushed you into making healthy choices for yourselves so that you can come back into union because you love each other deeply. Girl with a snake, empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enabled boundaries. So you need to make boundaries with these people in your life, family and friends. Your relationship needs to be the priority, and then other things come secondary to that, because if you want a family with this person too, that needs to be your priority, your little family unit. You're not going to grow old with your mum, or you're not going to grow old with your best friend. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to create a little life, they have to be your priority. But I want to say there's definitely a snake in your camp. So be on top of it. I'm seeing that as well as if someone tries to plant seeds, negative seeds about your feminine to you, it's your chance now to step up and protect them like you didn't protect them before. Girl talk, friends, making healthy choices. So living in the moment, having fun, but for that to be under healthy choices, making decisions about who you surround yourself with. I think you're both doing that. And starting to enjoy life. You can be working on yourself and doing healing and still find moments of enjoyment. The snake, there is definitely someone around you. This is going to be a challenge in your connection. If your feminine has gut instincts about someone and they want to express it to you, you need to be receptive to it, because there is a snake around you. Competition, enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, the other woman. It could be like a mother that obviously you would love your mother deeply. And it's not that they don't love you, but they can still be a snake. They can still be a wedge in your relationship. Don't let that happen. And don't try to shut down your feminine either when they try to express, because sometimes they're going to tell you things that their intuition's telling them, even though there's no evidence of it. If they've got a bad feeling about someone, you need to trust that feeling, because your feminines are very tapped in. Not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, call person, boundaries, still angry. So I think these are things that you need to work on in therapy too. Your anger issues, your boundaries, and whoever this snake is. This is two snakes. This one's girl with a snake and this one's a snake. So I'm seeing a female influence and potentially a close friend too. Those are two big challenges for you that you need to work on. because I said it earlier, so I'm going to say it again. I think you don't even see them as an issue right now, and they are one. They do actually have a big, you're too impressionable because you want to fit in or you want to please people, you're a people pleaser. You need to nip that in the bud. It's not good for your relationship, so that's something to work on.